And take a look at 184. It's the freshman from Maryland, Sepanta Aharij-Elias, going up against the reigning Big Ten Wrestler of the Week. And that's Rocco Welsh, the transfer from Ohio State, who's been special this season and is deservedly the #1 ranked 184.
Ryan, a ton of bonus point wins for Rocco Welsh, but he was the only Nittany Lion to not win in bonus points last night versus Indiana at the Rec Hall. Expect that to change in this bout here.
Yeah, less than 24 hours ago against the Hoosiers, it was Welsh who picked up a decision win against number 15 Sam Goyne and Indiana. Now going up against unranked Sepanta Aharij-Elias, the freshman from Gaithersburg, Maryland, where he was a 3-time state runner-up at Bullis. How about the aggression quickly from Aharij-Elias, freshman unfazed by Welsh early on.
And Welsh a little bit more experience as a sophomore. He's tied for second on this team in wins with 13, but Aharij-Elias looking for a statement win in Maryland. It's nothing better than this one right here.
Statement points, maybe even 2 for Aharij-Elias, as Welsh goes for the single leg, working on the left leg of Aharij-Elias. Kicks out the right one and earns the first takedown.
Aharij-Elias, a in-state product out of Gaithersburg, Maryland. 9-5 record on this season. Split 1-1 in Big Tens and 1-1 in duels.
Yeah, Aharij-Elias, someone that Clemson said just was behind the 8 ball originally. A freshman, James, who expects to redshirt as Aharij-Elias did, then get thrusted into a Big Ten dual match setting, especially against the top-ranked wrestler here like Welsh. It can be tough to do, especially for Aharij-Elias, who started as a 197 going down to this 184 now.
And got his first collegiate dual win over David Mallon at Wisconsin. A major decision, 13-1 at 184 pounds, and started off this season at 197. When we talked to Coach Clemson, he says he probably feels Aharij-Elias is more comfortable at that 197 spot. But when guys, step out, or your best wrestler Jackson Smith has to redshirt, then guys have to step up.
It becomes a need for someone to be in this lineup here. We saw last season guys like Branson John, who we'll see next bout at 197. John now a sophomore, looking for guys like Sepanta Aharij-Elias at 184. Maybe not as far as development as John was last season, as John came in knowing that he'd have a starting spot. But Aharij-Elias all of a sudden has answered the bell here at 184. Doing so against Rocco Welsh. As that first takedown, a 3-1 lead for Welsh. The sophomore goes for the double leg and earns another 3 points. You mentioned the great week that Rocco Welsh had. The Big Ten Wrestler of the Week because of that exciting, close 2-1 tiebreaker win over then #1 Angelo Ferrari, and that big win for Penn State over Iowa. Follow that up with a Tech Fall win over Northwestern's J.D. Perez. Moves him to 46-5 for his career, and that honor in the Premier Collegiate Wrestling Conference. He's the Big Ten Wrestler of the Week.
And that was a big win, too. Unexpected, right? When they're in Iowa City, having to face someone of that caliber, the #1 wrestler in the country. That's what put Welsh into that first spot. And ever since, he hasn't held back at all.
Welsh chooses to go down to begin the second period, where he holds a 6-1 lead over Aharij-Elias. And you mentioned that 32-3 win for Penn State at Iowa. That was #1 Penn State at #4 Iowa. And Penn State just really had its way the whole time. And that was the only match, because a 32-3 win for Penn State. Only match in the last 6 matches for Penn State in which the Nittany Lions didn't shut out their opponent. Can you believe that?
Ryan as well with Aharij-Elias out there for Maryland. Second most pins against. So I think Rocco Welsh, obviously he might not know that stat. He's just going for it, but definitely potential for the sophomore ranked #1 in the nation at 84 to get some pin swipes.
Had 2 takedowns in the opening 3 minutes of the first period. Now he'll have a 3rd takedown. Add on the escape point that he had to begin period #2. That's 10 points for Rocco Welsh. He's got Aharij-Elias on his back. The swipes come for Rocco Welsh. Aharij-Elias tries to get out of it. Rocco Welsh keeps him on his back. Going all the way around, and it's a pin for Rocco Welsh. Rocco Welsh keeps it going and adds another pin on a big night for Penn State.
Now that put Aharij-Elias